Welcome to Bob's Books, where I believe you deserve to see more than just a book's cover. This episode will be looking at Cinders by Michelle Davidson Argyle. It's a very good book. It continues the story of Cinderella after she's gotten married and got the prince. It's written in the style of the original type fairy tale, the old German book, which is really dark. Magic was forbidden. It wasn't little Disney. There's no little singing mice or anything in here. Part I'm going to read to you is there's somebody being held in the dungeons, and Cinderella wants to go down and see him. So she's trying to go down there, see if she has her power as a princess. Lifting her candle, she focused the light on herself in the painting. It was huge, hung so high she could hardly touch the bottom of the frame. Her face looked proud, unlike she had ever seen herself before. She knew she hadn't felt that way standing still for the portrait, and oddly, her crown looked grander than it was, the way it felt on her head right now. You have power just like I do. But how much power did Roland have? His parents still wouldn't let him sit on the Privy Council to discuss political matters. She didn't know if he could get into prison. She assumed he could. She was going to try again. This time she had more confidence. She would order the guard to take her to see Roland. He would not dare defy her, or she would threaten him with she had no idea. Lowering her light, she continued on. Guards stationed along the corridors looked up and bowed as she passed, bending slightly at their waists. She descended a flight of stairs, and then another and another. The air grew colder. Through the soft slippers on her feet, she felt the rough stone floor and loose pebbles that clattered down the steps when she moved too quickly. Then the smell. It was worse than before. Urine and rotting food, even death. Like the fur on her bed, sour and cold. She wondered how many people died down here. A cold breeze rustled past her, and her candle blew out. Standing still, she waited for her eyes to adjust to the lesser light. The sconces along the walls allowed her to see the rest of her way to the guard station. A small, brightly lit room. She stopped in her tracks. A boy inspecting his fingernails as he leaned against the wall looked up at her. He was thin and small, and the sight of him instead of the burly guard from the night before made her happy. She stepped closer, and he moved away from the wall and bowed low, his voice trembling as he said, "Your Highness? Are you the guard tonight? I'm here until my father returns, Your Highness." He kept his chin lowered. "Can I help you, Your Highness?" "Open the prison for me. There is someone I wish to visit." The boy lifted his chin, and his eyes went wide. "I'm not allowed to let anyone into prison, Your Highness." "When will your father return?" "I'm not certain." After a moment, Cinderella realized she was touching her crown, thinking of the grease on Marian's chin as she ate her food and told Roland things weren't fair. Cinderella wondered what kind of punishment she might receive, if any, for ordering the boy to open the prison. It was silly that she wasn't allowed inside, or maybe it was more suspicious than silly. Perhaps William and Marian were trying to keep her from Roland. The whole thing was strange. "I'm not asking you to open a prison door," Cinderella said. Her heart started to pound. "I'm ordering you to open it. Now!" But, Your Highness, I'm not allowed." Cinderella stepped close to him and raised her hand as if to strike him. "I said now!" Her heart felt like it might beat through her chest, but something about the sensation was oddly satisfying. The boy fumbled with the keys hooked to his belt and stepped over to the door. In the center of the door was a window with 3 thick metal bars. Cinderella looked through the bars in the darkness. The thought of seeing Roland again excited her, even if it meant seeing her in such a desperate position. "What's going on here?" a loud voice boomed behind her. She spun around. Her crown shifted. She'd read the book, see who she was going to see in a prison, and what it has to do with the story. It's a very good book. It is dark, but I really enjoyed reading this. So let's take a look at her cover.